Okay. Hi, everyone who's watching the recording. Welcome to the 6th class meeting of regression analysis. Right now, the students are working on editing their article reviews and having a discussion within their breakout groups about the different ways that regression articles are asking research questions, how they are documenting the statistical techniques they're using, and how they are writing about the results. So this document here, if you're in class, they are shared within our Carmen. So you should be able to find it there. And you can look at the results there to compare them between. So there are several questions on this document, and it should be serve as a resource for you as you move through regression so that you're able to have something to go back to and look at as you are as you're working in your own regression analyses. So I'm going to go drop in on some breakout rooms so we can see how everybody's doing.
The second step with all the time management to see if that predicted procrastination.
Hi, everyone. Don't mind me. Keep going. I'm just listening.
All right. So I think that's really, it's interesting stuff there. So the first part is just to copy paste our research aim hypothesis and include the citation. So we generalized, but mine, it says in it, the purpose of the study reported here was to examine if the level of participation of 4-H affects life skill development over time. In addition, research questions were examined using data from the study to better understand how factors, age, gender, and predisposition may affect life skill development. So.
Oh, great. So you get 2 and 1.
Yeah.
For that one.
And actually, they did 2 different stepwise regressions. So was how they had.
Cool. So that's nice. So you both had research questions?
We were just kind of doing brief overviews when you popped in.
Oh, okay. So, keep going.
So, Michelle, what was yours?
Yes, so our research question was specifically, do college students self-reported time management, can that be used to predict the reported level of both traditional and active forms of procrastination? And again, it was, cool. A 2-step regression model to check into that.
Great. So sounds like you both had research questions in your documents or aims. Not everyone does. I definitely had a couple of emails of people saying, but I can't find my research questions. Mm-hmm. So that's nice that you had those. Logan, I don't know if you checked out the homework assignment to know that this is what we would have been doing today.
I didn't, but I was talking to them before you signed on, and I was like, I'm happy to weigh in when I can and learn as much from you as I can. So
awesome. We'll just hang out then. Okay, so you guys both had articles about stepwise regression. So as you move to question 2, it gets unruly so fast. Where even is question 2? There it is. As you get to question 2, do you have a pretty clear, do they clearly say I used hierarchical regression or stepwise regression to solve this problem?
Mine said stepwise regression.
Yeah, mine said stepwise.
Oh, awesome. Okay, well, you're in good shape then.
Yeah.
Why don't you go ahead and work on pasting those into this document as well. And you can put stepwise regression and hierarchical regression are often used interchangeably. So you can put that under that hierarchical regression section. Okay, and then I'm going to go visit another room. All right, see you later.
Yeah.
For that. Oh, hello.
Hello, how's it going, breakout room 2?
Good
going. You were recording rooms.
Yes.
Okay.
We won't be here very long, and if you'd like to turn your camera off while we record, I understand.
I'm totally fine.
Okay. All right. So yes, how's that going?
Good. We're mid-explaining.
Awesome. Keep going. Don't let me stop you.
Okay. So yeah, they studied perceptions of electoral integrity, how that affected democratic satisfaction. And democratic satisfaction was defined from this survey question from the European Massive Election Survey. And they kind of are using it to measure like the legitimacy that people like whether or not people think that a democracy is legitimate, and so they found that yes, the perceptions of electoral integrity do change people's confidence in the legitimacy of their democracy, and they control for other stuff like winner loser effect. So people whose candidate won the election, they were more confident and satisfied in with democracy than people whose candidate didn't win. And yeah, I think it's a pretty decent summary. I focus mostly on the perceptions of electoral integrity, though.
Okay, cool. So the article I found was talking about the relationship between, the associations between the parental anxiety or depression and the child behavioral problems related to autism spectrum disorders. Because I study special education and I work with students with autism, so I'm really interested to see, if the parental anxiety, and the children's problem behaviors, if they what type of relationship that they have. So the two hypotheses were, so the first one, they hypothesized that the maternal stress would mediate the relationship between the child behavior problems and maternal self-efficacy. So they expected that the increases in the children's problem behaviors would be related to the increased parenting stress. And they also think that would be statistically account for the decrease in parenting self-efficacy. And the second hypothesis was that the maternal self-efficacy would mediate the relationship between the parenting stress and parental anxiety or depression. So they expected that the increase in parenting stress will be related to decrease parenting self-efficacy, and which will account for the increase in maternal anxiety or depression.
Do I have yours highlighted in the document? Did you just pull a piece of it?
Yes. Let's see.
Right here, sought to examine the roles of parenting stress and self-efficacy as.
Yeah, yes, that's what I put there.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Excellent. So did you all had research questions or aims pretty clearly stated, it sounds like. You didn't have trouble finding them?
No.
That's great. Okay, excellent. What about for just sort of generally before you list the next part, which is the statistical technique they used, was it pretty easy to find?
Mine had it in bullet points. They had their 4 just bulleted right out. I was like, woo.
Oh, that's great.
That's nice. Yeah, mine was a little hard to find because I kind of had to infer what they were doing from the tables that they gave us. So they were like, oh, model A and B. I'm like, okay, hierarchical regression then. But I kind of had to dig a little bit just kind of based on the stuff that they were giving.
Interesting.
Okay. Yeah, so mine is pretty easy to find. They also have the bullet points, they listed that they use the regression, method to analyze the data.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so then between those 3, I think, Chloe, what I've done is said if it didn't explicitly state it, just explain how you figured it out. And so if you'll just write, I found out from the tables, that would be helpful. So we can sort of get an idea.
In the homework or in the Google Doc?
On the Google Doc.
Okay,
sorry. Okay, well, good luck with the rest. I'm going to go visit another room, but first I'm going to tell everyone to how much time has elapsed. Okay, I'll see you later.
Yep, bye.
Analysis. Okay.
Hi, everyone. Don't let me stop. Just keep talking.
Yeah. So it is stated there. So that's how I know, I guess. So I'm just gonna go ahead and paste that. Awesome. Include sections A, B, or C correlation. What is a statistical technique? Copy and paste the sentence that let you know if this was stated. If they did not say explain space, how you know. Okay.
It looks like you've got a really nice, clear explanation there.
Yeah, like they put it there just
That's awesome.
yeah.
In the previous breakout room, someone said, I had no idea. They didn't actually say, but based on the tables, I think this is what they did.
Right.
So
Wow.
that was really different. That's
Yeah.
what I'm hoping you'll take away is that you'll see some differences within your groups. Maybe it'll be between. We'll see.
Absolutely. Right. And then so let's see, correlation. Um, part two. Part two. The author claims to use regression, but I believe. Oh wait. So we're trying to find another question that the document keeps
Oh,
moving.
yes. Sorry. I know it does keep moving around. I was trying to put in like spaces. Let's see. Can you see who I am? You probably can't. Here, I'll
Yeah,
add
your name
comments.
actually pops up.
Wow, that's not a word. Question 3. Hopefully that will help you find them. I've just flagged them.
Okay, awesome.
So did everyone have a relatively straightforward time finding what analysis they used? Did they tell you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine spelled it out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mine
Well, that's
was,
easy.
um,
So then the next thing I have for you is to move on to how they reported it.
right. Mine, they did use the F test. So that was pretty stated in each one of the analysis that they did. So say, for instance, it'll say it did not predict, it'll say television households did not predict a significant amount of incremental variance. And then they'll use the F test, and then they'll use the p-value as well. In other situations where there was a prediction that was statistically significant, they used R squared. And so I'll go ahead and include that.
Nice.
Let me see. But the F test was probably the most commonly used.
Oh,
F
yeah?
test and R squared were the most commonly used for mine. Yeah. Let's see what that's here.
Mine listed everything, but they predominantly used the F change.
Mhm.
And then
cool.
obviously like in the table and stuff, they had the R squared values, but they didn't really point out the R squared values like in the results section as much like in the text of it. But they did interpret it into like 17% of the variance was explained by whatever variables.
Excellent.
And then they listed the R squares like in the table.
Oh, okay. So that's nice and easy to
Yeah.
determine. So what I'm looking for in these is any sentence where they're discussing the actual outcomes.
Mm.
So I have a couple of examples, and it looks like people are filling some in now. So anytime you have a sentence that includes the results, that's what I'm looking for, more so than a table.
Okay.
Right. Mine said like I said, like an example would be they were looking at sponsorship, seeing what affected sponsorship value. And then the results said the performance of a school's basketball program. So how many NCAA appearances they had predicted a significant amount of the variance in the price of the sponsorship deal. And then it predicted, it had the F value, but then it had the R squared, which was about 7. It predicted about 7% of the variance in cost. So I went ahead and put that in the Google.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good. So it sounds like so far you all have been pretty straightforward. Raphael, if you can, I know you're having internet issues. I'm sorry about that. That stinks. That was happening to my kid today in his class also. So if you can hear me and come back, I hope it's going okay. Oh. All right, I'll let you two keep working. I'm gonna head to another
Okay.
room.
All right, sounds good.
Oops, maybe I can
Um,
find my breakout rooms.
um,
But the other two provided plenty of information.
Yeah, I think that's representative. Hi, Dr.
And I
Logan.
think they're from
Hi.
3 different fields, aren't they? Because I have anthropology and then counseling and
Mhm.
psych.
Yeah.
Where did the, okay, people, stop putting giant tables in.
Oh, I'm trying to flag things, adding comments. If you want to keep finding your place, you can throw a comment on there.
I'm just gonna,
That's helpful.
nope, I'm suddenly at the bottom.
That's odd.
All right, where did that go?
It's a blessing and a curse with these shared documents. I love being able to see what everybody's doing, but it makes it hard to type. So
Well,
how
it's
far
just
in
bad
are
when
you?
you're at the bottom.
Yeah.
We're group 4.
I'm sorry. I mean, which question are you on?
We just finished up question 4.
Oh,
Question
great.
4. Hey, there we go.
Excellent. Oh, you did that. So how did that go? Talk to me about question 4. Where'd you go?
Can't speak and type at the same
Oh,
time.
yeah,
Give me
sorry
just a
about that.
second.
We were just talking about in our conversation, we were mostly just talking about the ease of reading them and how clear or unclear. We felt like they were all pretty similar to what we've been talking about in class. There were some differences and some ways of reporting it that were a little bit confusing or a little bit different from what we'd covered. But yeah, I don't know. It wasn't like there was a one main takeaway because all 3 were pretty different.
Mhm. Plus all 3 are, we have 3 different fields, so that could be why the papers are all presented differently.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like mine's for anthropologists, and anthropologists don't do stats as a rule. So they don't, like, I have a coefficient of variance, and that's all the information I have about the analyses.
Wow. Yeah, that's not much.
Yeah.
Coefficient of, I mean, that's a whole very interesting analysis, but is not really, not usually a regression analysis unless they're reporting that differently.
It's because they're making regression equations to be used. That's why.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. Oh, you guys just flew through this really fast. That's exciting.
Mhm.
So I'm excited that you'll have a chance to look at option 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you don't have any questions, I'm going to keep scrolling through breakout rooms.
I think you're cut out for a second there.
Sorry. I will just
Okay.
keep scrolling through breakout rooms if you don't have any other questions for me.
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Yep,
all right,
thanks.
bye.
Positive relation.
Hi, Dr. Logan.
Hi, don't let me interrupt. Just keep talking.
The positive relationship will become stronger when positive supervision is low. Okay. And Kim and Yun conducted a hierarchical regression analysis. Look at here. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. Then they get 4 models. Here is the list 4 model. In the mode 1, they just get a model with control variables, age, gender, education, and position. In the model 2, they get main effect of co-workers' knowledge sharing. And we can see the regression coefficient is significantly different from 0. So it means the hypothesis first is supported by these results. And in the model 3, they add the main effect of general self-efficacy and abusive supervision. Wait for a sec. And abusive supervision, and we can see, the model 3 is not related to the hypothesis. So I don't want to talk about model 3. And then in the model 4, they add the interaction term of co-worker knowledge sharing comes general self-efficacy, and the interaction term of co-worker knowledge sharing comes abusive supervision. And we can see both regression coefficient of the interaction terms are significantly different from 0, and both of them are negative. Then
So hang on, Jinji, I want to stop you for just a second because I'm really looking for an overview within these, and I want to make sure that everybody has a chance to share all of their pieces. So
okay.
can you talk to me about which question you're on right now?
I guess there are just 3 questions. The first question is co-workers knowledge sharing can whether co-workers knowledge sharing can positively predict the employee's task performance. So in the model 2, we get
Gotcha.
the
So
answer.
hold on, I'm looking for
The second question. The second question is whether the general self-efficacy set in a situational constraint to the effect of co-workers' knowledge sharing.
right, and I know
in the model 4, we get the answer.
no. Oh, yes, perfect. Okay, so that what I'm looking for you to add to this document is a sentence within your write-up, not within the table, where they describe that. So if you can copy a sentence out of this.
Dr. Logan, is it okay if I took it from my assignment?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yes, that's perfect. If you took it from the assignment, that's perfect. So you all said this is the third question from the group assignments, the Google document?
I think we're on the 4th question.
You're on the 4th one now. Okay, exciting.
Oh, yes. We have already finished the first 3 questions.
Excellent.
So we are talking about which article is the best one. and then to choose one to answer the question for and following questions.
Well, I mean, what's the best? Not necessarily. I didn't mean to pit you against one another. I really meant for you to describe what was very clear to you as a reader. Was there anything that you read that was definitely not clear if you were as you were reading it? So that's what I'm looking for you to discuss amongst each other.
Okay. I guess my article is much clearer. So probably we can move to other articles. Justin.
Yeah, so mine was odd in the sense that it here, and I'll share the article here real quick and just show you. So with mine, it used a single regression in the objective I focused on was number 6 right here, to determine if a post-perceived summated skills of self-efficacy accounted for variance and post-consideration to teaching ag mechanics. So it doesn't ever ask about predicting anything. All they're looking at was looking for the amount of variance that was accounted for by this. So if I jump straight down here to the chart, right down here, all they give us is just the R squared, the F, the p-value, and all they give is a B. They don't give a B0 or a B1. And I'm assuming that's because they were focusing on the amount of variance right here. So it only explained 15% of their reasoning.
But it's not really clear. Is that the only variable in that regression model?
That is the only variable in that one. That was the only question that referred to regression at all. And if I jump real quick up here to this one right here, here's the paragraph under the data analysis that explains what they were doing. Basically, and it said they looked like they were just focusing on how much that one variable accounted for. They weren't really looking at predicting anything.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting. So it's easy to, I mean, I don't know if it's easy to understand. It doesn't map on very clearly to regression as you're learning it, I'll say.
It just focuses on one point.
Right. Whoops.
I have a question for this analysis. If simple linear regression works, why not the author use the correlation coefficient, since both of them are all the same? And the correlation coefficient will be much easier to present.
I think they do give you slightly different information in terms of just, is it significantly related? You would get a specific like yes or no answer. But in terms of examining exactly how much, like that, the ability to look at a 1 unit change, for example, you lose out on looking at the correlation. You can convert it, but it's not as straightforward.
Okay.
Interesting. Oh, that's very interesting. Okay, we'll keep chatting about your articles, and then because we're almost done, there's only like 3 minutes left, so I will meet you back in the main room in a minute.